Howdy, friends. I am going to show you a little bit more about what's going on with these slides. So what we are trying to do is put together slide presentations based on daily live videos to be able to turn these videos into a slide presentation that can be used for courses, for live trainings, for webinars, and church speaking engagements, whether that's prayer meetings, divine service sermons, or seminars that people attend, or camp meetings. And that's what these slides will be used for. Right now, we're looking at how to find time for devotions, and we're looking at Reclaim Your Devotions. We're trying to turn these live videos into presentations. We have a few resources. So what we looked at is we have this outline. The outline is very helpful, but and it's going to be good to a degree, and it's nice to be able to extract some principles from there. But we don't want to be limited to just the outline. Part of the value of having the video is to, the live video is to be able to listen to that and just think, because when I do presentations, a lot of times I go into more detail on the live video, and a lot of my speaking style is more impromptu, and I don't really have outlines. Like, this is actually a really well-designed outline that looks nice. Most of my outlines don't look like that. Yeah, Tina, you know well about that. So what we want to do is, while we're watching the video, be aware of, try to pay attention to visuals. What would be something that would look well? Like, that was amazing. When I was going through this slide that Rebecca and Tina were putting together. Okay. So I was over here and I saw this and I'm like, a stethoscope. Wow, what is that for? And then I saw a doctor's appointment and I was like, what? I don't remember talking about a doctor's appointment. And then I'm like, oh, I talked about, what did I talk about? I talked about treating your devotions like you would a doctor's appointment. That is a non-negotiable. It just doesn't, that's not something that you change. And so then I was like, okay. And then here, and I saw that it was actually part of the slide, or the outline. So what I want to point out is, I'm glad it was a part of the outline, but there are going to be plenty of times where I'm giving some analogies, metaphors, or visual pictures like this, word pictures that are not on the outline. So we want to either identify that from the transcripts, and this is going to take prayer, this is going to take wisdom from the Lord, to identify what is a word picture here, what's an illustration, what's an example. Like here, we have an appointment with,
that's the one that we did.
We get to spend time with a great physician who has never lost a case. And so that's going to be pretty neat. Now, the translation, this transcript has not been proofread yet. Yeah, so it's a little off, but you want to think, it's like, oh yeah, doctor's appointment. And then when you see, anytime that there's an analogy, a picture that's being brought up in your mind, a visual aid, or maybe there is an abstract concept that could be better understood by a picture, these visual aids, I'm telling you, it's great. And I was learning about props, and I was thinking, if I did this presentation, I could actually take a stethoscope. I can bring a stethoscope with me doing the presentation, be like, and this would represent the doctor's appointment, because people won't forget that type of stuff. It'll really stand out to them. They're going to be like, oh, I remember that time the preacher put on a stethoscope and was like, that's how I should treat my devotions. And they won't forget that. So I'm really thankful to have these other ideas and suggestions here. But that's something that we have. We got Desmond Doss over here, right on. I didn't even remember that I shared that testimony. That's very interesting. We want to use these as much as possible. And I might have, in one of these videos, I think I talked about a video clip of Oprah interviewing this Adventist guy, and he was saying that she was like, "How do you get so much done?" And he was saying, "Well, I spend an hour and a half with God every morning, my devotion." She's like, "An hour and a half? You do all that on top of an hour and a half? How do you find the time?" And he was just showing how important his devotions were. And I would say it would probably be good to just identify that video and play that video in the slide here. That would, rather than saying it, we could just switch it up and let them see that. So what I want to see is that in this template that we have, we will see that there are full verse slides are one of the easiest to do.
Mm-hmm.
And these ones are pretty easy to do. These section header slides, as they're named so nicely right there, and they're explained how to use. These are things that are not as familiar, but we want to use these. We want to find these. Movement is extremely good. This is a GIF, or GIF, however you pronounce it. But these GIF files are great. It's like adding video without actually being video. So anytime that we can use GIF instead of photos, that would be ideal. Just FYI. See, here's another GIF. Put that in there as some examples that we can use. Another one that's really easy to do are what are called illustration slides. These illustration slides have no verses or text, just the picture, just like the stethoscope was an illustration slide. They're wonderful. So I just want us to be aware of these, but try to get creative. Don't be afraid to have these templates. If there's another slide that you can see us using again and again, let's put it in here. Let's put it in the template and we can update it. Like this is a Webster's. Anytime that we have a word that we want to define, we just replace this, and then boom, you're ready to go. What I'd like to do is have a watchword slide. Anytime we have a new watchword that's being introduced, like I don't know what it'd look like, maybe a big watchword, and then what it is, maybe a definition or something, and then get the audience to, it'll be a trigger in my mind whenever introducing a new watchword, be like, repeat after me. Personal encyclopedia, a what? And then have the audience say it, or whatever the case is, let them express these new concepts. But we want to be creative as much as we can with these slides and not just limit ourselves to these. Do you have any questions, Tina?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I like this plus 6 because it showed it's a bonus. Spelling out bonus works too. Those are neat.
She was asking like how it if you scroll up, like the numbers 5, 4.
Oh yeah.
If that's,
people like numbers, their brains click on to numbers, and if you make the numbers stand out, like hey, that's an upgrade in my opinion.
Okay.
Another thing that I wanted to point out, so here you say, we don't have time to be blasting through life without direction from God. That's a powerful quote. That right there should be a social media quote. We should be able to use these slides just as fast as you make these slides. We can turn these into social media quotes just by going over to File, Page Setup, File, Page Setup, and then instead of widescreen, you just do standard 4x4, and then you apply. And you're going to have to adjust everything. But, well, I guess you didn't have to adjust anything there. That was pretty quick. Wasn't that cool?
So
and
now
then you're
all
ready.
the slides are?
Yeah, these are all ready for social media.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
So then what do you do after this?
After what?
You like just like...
Oh, yeah, okay. Then File, and then you go to Download, and then you go to... not that. Is there an export button somewhere? Don't want PDF. So all these say current slide. We don't want the current slide. No, not import slides. Share? I've done it before. I'm not crazy. Edit. Download. You might have to select multiple.
Well, we use.
Oh yeah, so see this? I don't know if it was always like that, but
It looks like something is.
the word of God. So the faith. Well, that's kind of cool. So you're gonna have to review these and look at some of them and see if they're not weird. Oh, PowerPoint. That's what you do. You open it in PowerPoint. When you download it in PowerPoint, I think I have a video. I do. I have a video explaining how to do this. So I'm not going to do this now.
Okay.
It's on the YouTube AOYO website. But and another thing that you could do is you can go to File, Page Setup, and then you can go to Custom. This is so cool. So so square is 4:3, widescreen is 16:9. But another thing you could do is so 1920 by 1080p is widescreen. 1920 by 1080p.
Yikes, that sounds very hard.
But if you
to
do
remember.
1080 by 1920, I think this is portrait. Boom! Look at that. That's for story. Now you're definitely going to want to adjust things, as you can imagine, but you at least see the vision. Oh, here's another thing. Do not change the background. So I see what's going on is this isn't a photo. Don't change the background. It makes it extremely hard to edit stuff. Like for instance,
I think that one's like, yeah, just a photo.
Yeah, this is a photo, and the background is irrelevant. The background, someone changed the background, but that was a mistake. Don't do that. So this is really the background that we're using. And oops, you want to keep them like this, if that makes sense. Have the photo. That way you can adjust and modify it. But in short, that's how this works. Now let me put this back before Rebecca's like, what happened to my slides? There you go. And then just with a couple Z's, you're ready to go. So, contrary to popular belief, the only thing you do with Z's is not just snore. So you want to flood your mind with God's word. So here's another idea. Another thing that you can do is, where was that? Was that on the live cast? Remember when we put that from the photo? Yeah, okay, from Facebook. So this is something that we want to be intentional about doing. So I went to this conference, and this presenter, he was an influencer, and he did this, and it looks so nice. He showed he is on social media. It was like put a tweet and use it as a.
What are you doing for this one though?
What? Where did we put that? Are you sure?
I don't remember ever doing that.
We did it once. I did it as an example. Where did we put it?
It's not in this one.
Oh man. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
It would be really hard to explain without it. Well, can I go to your messenger and then go to the slides ideas? Okay, slide. We have a messenger where we got some ideas on here, and if you have some suggestions for other ideas, then or if you want to be added to this messenger, just let us know and we can add you to this. This is where we discuss some different ideas. There's some cool apps here. Oh no. So like this, look, Pastor had his title screen was of flames. That is cool. But he did that with a GIF. That was a GIF. But it doesn't look like I actually took a picture. I just must have noticed it. Too bad. Well then. Ouch. You're positive we didn't do it here? Mm-hmm. Do you remember doing it?
I don't ever remember. making one. Maybe you made one.
I did make one. Oh well. So what I was going to say is what you can do for some slides, as many as possible, or within reason, but with each presentation it would be good to have a slide like it is powerful, because I think it's going to be in this slide. Yeah, here we go. Here it says, we don't have time to be blindly blasting through life without direction from God. Now, we have a social quote on our Facebook page that has this. So what you can do is take a screenshot of that social quote card, and with all the blue Facebook branding so people know where it came from, and then you can put that quote in there. So you're using the quote from Facebook. So the quote is the message, but subliminally, or like in unconsciously, or kind of like indirectly, you're communicating to the audience that, hey, everybody, just to let you know, if you like this content, we also post relevant photos on Facebook. So if you look us up on Facebook, follow us there, you can subscribe and you can follow through. Now, we're not saying any of those words, but those thoughts are going through their mind as they see the slide that has all the Facebook branding on it with this exact same quote here. Does that make sense, Tina? I saw you had an aha moment.
Yeah, now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where it was.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you at least remember. That's progress.
I thought you were meaning kind of like the ones from like the Roger Love.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought you were looking for, and I was like, I don't think we created one like that.
No, we didn't. You're right. No, it was something with Facebook. You don't remember resizing the Facebook? And yeah, I thought it was on the live cast, but I could be wrong. I don't think I preached a sermon anytime recently with that. But anyways, this is what we have. Those are some of the suggestions that I have. Now, what were some of the problems that you guys faced, or what were the unanswered questions that you guys had, Tina?
You mean when Rebecca and I worked?
Yeah, when you were working together.
We didn't really face any problems. She knew a lot, like how to do things quicker than I did, and then we just worked things out. So you're suggesting that we use more than just the outline, which is totally understandable.
Yes. I'm suggesting you use as much as you can, whatever's available. I would definitely listen to, if you're the type of person that can like work and listen while you do that, then it would probably be good to like listen to the talk. Like if this is me, if I were to do this, what I would do is have the talk playing in the background while I'm working on the slides, so that as I'm looking at the photos and slides and thinking ideas, I'm actually hearing what the message is. And the benefit of the recording is that you get to see the direction of the of the quotes and outline and different things. You get to see the context. And many verses I quote that I don't have in the outline. I'm just doing it from memory. And sometimes my references might not be exactly where it's located, so you can fact check these and find out where they actually are. And having slides on some of these would be helpful. Probably not all the verses, because as you can see, some of them I would use more than others, but just because I have the reference in the outline doesn't mean that's the prominent verse that I would primarily want to use. Because sometimes, like as I'm doing the presentation impromptu, I throw in another verse, and in my mind I'm like, wow, that's a much better verse. I would rather be using that verse. But it's just a fleeting thought, and it was spoken and documented, captured for you to identify, extract, and then put into a slide. And together we're able to do a lot more than we could apart. But yeah, we're going to try to make sure that there are transcriptions and audio recordings that you can listen to in the background, or video recordings if that is not a problem for you to listen to in the background. we'll have an outline that you see, and just the key is to try to like I would say one of the thing like this here is one of like that. This excites me. This is powerful. These visual aids, people remember visual things far greater than words. So this is like a prime example of a job really well done. And these quotes are good to have, especially if they're keywords, or like a key note concept, key point. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, wow, that's pretty neat.
It just needs a little bit of a
yeah, it might need
color,
a little darker
black.
something, but yeah, this is a great start. And then these testimonies, this is wonderful. We need to put
That
this.
picture wasn't originally there.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, we were just adding this to get one of Desmond Doss. We need to add this to, well, it's not really epiphany, but we should have an allegory metaphor inventory, some library of metaphors, so that we can just pull them up and collect those as much as possible. But I'm amazed. The Bible has so many different metaphors. It's incredible. And if you've seen the transcript about the doctor's appointment, what I would probably do is go over here and then just
Copy and paste?
Yeah, copy and paste the whole portion that's talking about
speaker notes.
Yeah, into the speaker notes. Now, this doesn't have to. I mean, I'm not going to use this as a script, but
you could just get the key points out of that too.
Yeah. There we go. So, but it doesn't hurt at least to give context to this. Like, look, I'm talking about the balm of Gilead. That's a Bible verse. It's talking about Jesus. We're talking about salvation, the balm. There we go. Boom. So I'm just kind of doing this, but might be a little more proofread or put together. But that is essentially what it would look like a little bit. That just gives some context, and maybe like proofread or just kind of like put things together. If you're not a proofreader, that's fine, but that's how you can add the context to explain the picture a little better. And then what we could do is we could just go through and comb through these and then put them in the inventory in the library so that we can pull them out of the speaking
as like an
yeah, kind of like we're collecting the Epiphany Bridge scripts and stories. So was there anything else? Does it make more sense of what is taking place and what are the resources? Okay, cool. I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know, and I look forward. I like the direction it's going. I look forward to seeing the future.